Hey guys, it's Janae Hunter here with the Atlanta Voice, and I am at Atlanta's The Gathering Spot, and I'm joined by Mr. Benjamin Raymond. How are you today?
Doing great. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to having a great time.
Yes, great. So we're here to get to know more about you, your book, your brand, and your business. So I want to go ahead and jump right into it. So let's just get to know a little bit more about you first. You're very successful. We can see that. We read about it. But life wasn't always easy for you, your journey and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, most people see me in a suit every day, and they think I come from the Cosby family or something like that. I always laugh. For me, growing up, there was a lot of dark days. You know, growing up, my mother lost me to foster care at 6 months of age, and she had to go through the court system for the next 2 to 3 years to earn me back. And from there, I bounced house to house. She battled with a severe crack addiction, and she was also bipolar manic depressive. So it was just me and her, and then she would lose me. My father was nowhere in the picture. Saw him at the age of 7 for 5 minutes and didn't see him again for 20 years. So really didn't have a lot of stability, a lot of mentors around growing up. So, you know, for me, it was one of those things where I was a dreamer, just wanting to get out of my situation. But in the 8th grade, I was forced with a difficult decision, and that was, you know, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. My mother was into drugs. The men she dated were coming home, putting black eyes on her, and for me it was drugs, it was addictions, there was a lot of things that I just knew I didn't want to go down that path. And I didn't know what to do, but I called my high school coach in 8th grade and made a difficult decision. That was leaving home. And from there I lived with 3 different families over a 4-year period in high school. So a lot of moving around. So today I don't like to move, if you can imagine. So
Right.
yes.
Definitely. And so you take that, almost like that pain, and you turn it into so many great things. So let's get into your book, Playing the Game Without a Coach.
Yeah.
So what inspired that title? Like, did that come from like an aha moment, like 3 o'clock in the morning, lyrics, or a snippet from your book?
Well, for me, sports was the foundation. You know, I had the opportunity to play basketball throughout my high school and then collegiately as well as all-state basketball player. So that gave me the confidence. When I was on the court, I wasn't thinking about the problems off the court.
Right.
So the title came from that. You know, I had to play the game really without a coach. I didn't have that person in my life to really steer me in the right direction. And that's why I wrote the book. I wanted to help a lot of families, a lot of other ones out there that were struggling, and knowing that if I can do it, you can do it. And for me growing up, I was always embarrassed in my story. So a lot of me writing that book was a healing process, you know, taking me back to a lot of dark days. And the other portion was hopefully to inspire people to motivate themselves to not only help themselves, but also help others.
That's beautiful. That is really beautiful. So you talk about, you talk about basketball and just playing. So are you still any good, like today?
Well, if that's a challenge, then we can hit the court. But no, I think the biggest motivation for me, sports got me, you know, college basketball scholarship got me into corporate America, became a very successful business owner. But if I wasn't playing in the NBA, it wasn't something. You're not going to catch me at the YMCA or at LA Fitness trying to play somebody. I am now inspired, so I've been working out a lot. My son is 20 months old, so I need to show him that daddy's still the king around here, because he's abnormally tall like his dad.
Right.
So I need to be ready for him. So other than that, you won't see me really playing. I'm too focused on my business.
Yeah, no, definitely wasn't a challenge. I haven't played basketball since the 3rd grade,
Okay.
and I hated it.
Just making sure.
No. And you talk about, you know, writing that book was, you know, have inspiration, but also a healing process for you. So, you know, how big was forgiveness? You know, and how has, you know, you forgiving, you know, your past situations, your mother, you know, the system or whatever, how has that helped propel you forward with your businesses?
Well, that's a powerful word, is forgiveness. I think that's probably the biggest thing people know me as. When I was 27, I found my father. The Antoine Fisher movie actually inspired me, because I was going around in life very successful, but on the inside I really didn't know my identity. And I reached out on an internet search, kind of like you saw in the movie, and I found the last known address. My father at that time was in federal prison doing 13 years in federal prison. I had my first man-to-man conversation in prison with my father. And that word forgiveness, I had to go through a journey in forgiving my father, forgiving a lot of my family members for a lot of things that happened. I think for me, you have to love people for who they are, not necessarily what they're doing. And in that journey of forgiving my father, I found out I had a sister I never knew I had. So if I didn't cross that bridge of forgiveness, I wouldn't be able to share the joys. My sister, that 5-minute conversation I had at the age of 7, he was about to tell me I was a big brother, about to be a big brother. So my sister's 7 years younger than me. She lives in Dallas. We're very close. If you saw us walk in the room, you'd think we're twins. So I think forgiveness is powerful. I just choose to forgive. I think that we live in a crazy world where we don't even know what we're mad at people for. We forget what the real reason, the root of the problem is, and you just never know when you're going to lose somebody. My father goes out of prison after getting to share 2-3 years with him, gets sentenced for 20 years. So I get this unbelievable joy of my father coming in my life, and then he's taken away from me. So I always tell people you just never know when they're going to go, so you have to enjoy them while they're here. So that's just my motto, is to forgive.
Yes, I was not expecting just this word. You're definitely a great,
We
definitely are. I am at the church of Mr. Benjamin Raymond Writing House. So where is the collection plate? So we're gonna move into your business. Okay. You're very successful, like you said. People see you in a suit most of the time, and you have a business right here, right, with us. State Farm. So how did you, delve into that?
What's crazy is my senior year was the third family that took me in when I was in high school. The Mr. Hughes is the family that took me in, and Mom Cat is the second mother I never knew I had. He actually was an insurance agent. I traveled with him on a day trip just to see what he did, and he did rural insurance. And after following with him, I told him I'd never, ever do it again. And so to give him the phone call, I'd been in corporate, I'd worked for Eli Lilly Pharmaceuticals, Cintas. I'd worked for several companies, and I was sick of really working for someone. I wanted to do my own thing. I got the opportunity to start my own agency in 2007. I actually had it in Dallas for several years and then migrated recently to Atlanta. But to go into insurance, the reason I did is people know me as wanting to help people. Right. I think in the African American community and also the Hispanic community, a lot of times we are not really given the information that we need. It's not that we don't know anything, it's really that no one's really teaching us the principles the right way. So I went in with that mindset to help save families with whether it be life insurance, leaving a legacy behind, whether it be just helping people on the principles of building a foundation. That's why I'm here, that's why I do it, and our agency over the last 8 years has been recognized as doing insurance in top 1% in the world. So the reason is because we have great customers. Great customers talk about us, and I'm fortunate to have a great team and just do things the right way.
Amazing. That's so funny how that came full circle, though.
Yeah.
So I love.
Circle. You just never know. That's why I say you can't burn a bridge when you cross it.
Right. I love life. I love how it works. So, are there any other business endeavors that you see yourself stepping into outside of insurance?
I have an expensive taste, so I don't think you can really get wealthy on one thing, and it's not about money. For me, I have a big heart. You're gonna find me 9 times out of 10 spending most of my time with kids less fortunate in schools and churches and organizations. That's the foundation of me. Every day is building a business, building a legacy, and then helping others. So I've been fortunate to get 10 people their own agencies, continuing to help people come in. It's kind of like the Patriots. Come in, work for me. I help mentor you, help mold you, and then get you your own agency. But it's really kids. It's helping kids. It's working with kids. My wife and I, she has a soft heart for, the women. I have a soft heart for the boys, and together as a family, it's a family thing. My son's birthday is June 16th, the same day I wrote my book. And that's Father's Day weekend, and we spend his birthday celebrating with 250 other fatherless boys with Mr. Harvey's foundation. So we wouldn't have it any other way.
That's beautiful, and definitely let us know how we can get involved with that, if it takes place here in Atlanta. So you talk about your foundation is, just giving back and just looking back on the things you've been through. Do you find that it was difficult to establish those relationships or to establish healthy relationships with people?
I think for me, growing up, I was a talker. Sometimes it got me in trouble in school. I was a kid that was at the YMCA. So I'm going to talk to you. If I saw success, if I saw somebody that looked the part, I wanted to find out what they were doing because I didn't see that every day. And I always encourage people when you see somebody, I always do a boot camp where you teach you how tie a tie, how to interview, how to talk to people the right way, because I think it's so important. I think sometimes we're so afraid to ask for help, and help is right around the corner, and we're afraid of rejection, because if somebody says no, it's like, okay, it's not meant to be. But for me, I am going to open my own doors, and what I mean by that is that if one door is closed, I'm going to go until finally another door opens. And I think we have to have that foundation of really getting up and moving forward. And I think those are the keys, because at the end of the day, success, God didn't create us to not be great. He created every single person to be great. And I think sometimes we lose that sight, because some of our biggest haters around us are the ones closest to us. And you got to get the haters out of it. You got to get the haters out the room. Yeah, you got to get the haters out the room. And I think vision board, I was a dreamer before I knew what a vision board was. I do vision board parties every year. If you look on my vision board, my book was on there. And I started writing my book 7 years, and I finally released it on the year I put it on my vision board. So go figure. If you speak it into existence, it'll happen through hard work.
Yes. He has the keys. Mr. Benjamin Raymond has the keys. Yes. So just the last question. What was the biggest mistake that you feel that you made when you first started going into business for yourself? And if you could share that lesson, with others that are aspiring, what would that be?
I think my first year opening up, I was so determined. I wanted to do it my way. I was so focused. And yes, we were very successful, but I don't think you can hit pinnacles of success, whether you're Michael Jordan or whether you're Magic Johnson in business, or, I don't care who you are. You need help. You need a great team around. And I think for me, sometimes asking for help is very hard to do. Growing up, I didn't have the resources, so really, who am I going to ask for help? So in my career today, it's hard for me to ask for help, and you need to in order to get to that mountaintop. And you can go to my website, www.IamBenRaymond, to get more information on mentoring, or just to really, if you want to just talk, just reach out. We're here. I am a real live person. People always say, you're going to send me to your assistant of assistant. I'm just a big believer. I'm staying grounded and keep pushing. I got to get to work right now. Got to pay for diapers.
Yes. Hey,